We're back with the moron. Look at her hair, David. Go on, let's talk about Jen's hair. What colour is it, Jen?
It's meant to be dark brown.
Looks like a wig. Right, we're back. So the roof structure got built yesterday. I didn't really do much of a video on it, 'cause I had to nip off. Jen and Brad finished it, did you? Jen and Brad finished it?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, they both finished it. You can see the nice neat row of noggins that we've put in there. Somebody asked why we've cut them off like that at that angle. It's so that when John comes and does his cable, he doesn't have to drill them and he can just thread his cable through there. Because obviously our cables will be tied up to the underside of the deck. Right, the deck, it's OSB free roofing board. It's a tongue and groove board. It goes together pretty well. If any part of the build, this is the part you want to keep dry. You don't want to let this get wet, so it's not going to rain today, or it's not forecast anyway. John's nipped off to get the rubber. Me, Jen and David are going to get the roof down. We are going to use this polyurethane wood glue. We have got 30-minute and 5-minute because that is all we have, but Jen has just suggested that we use the 30-minute first, and by the time we get to the other side of the roof it will be dry, but it won't be dry in this weather. We're going to use 63mm ring cut nails in the Paslode IM 350 plus. Now it's getting to that time of year now where it's cold. It's 7 degrees today, yeah? Right. This time next month these guns will not be working, I'd imagine.
And the gas will be back down my bra.
And the gas will be down Jen's bra. Used bottles are available for sale as well if you'd like to buy a used bottle that's been down Jen's bra. That's perfectly acceptable, isn't it? Yeah? It's kind of like an OnlyFans, but like an Only Gas fan, so it'll be £5 a bottle. If you'd like it down my bra, then then it'll be £10 a bottle, of course. Right, we're going to crack on with this. We're going to cut it with circular saw. I've said loads of times before, right, you need to set the depth of your saw blade to the depth of the board, and if you're unfortunate or stupid enough to put your hands underneath, you will only cut your hands rather than cut your fingers off, and it will put less strain on the blade and less strain on the battery. So that's that. What we're going to do, we're going to board along like that. We've already put this first board down, it's fixed so that we can sit somewhere safe. I'm going to work along, same as the floor. The offcut from over there comes back over here. We're happy that a joint will sit above there. We're not bothered about that because this roof will not be getting walked on as such. So it's absolutely fine. Done it loads of times before, never had an issue, never had a cracked ceiling. Have we ever had a crack?
Never.
No. Right. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to mark up the joist there as well, because once we put this next board on, we have no way of knowing where the joist is, and obviously we want to nail the joist. 4 nails per board. What we'll do, we'll get this board down, we'll put our 3rd nail around there. We won't put the 4th nail down until we've got that board in, because it will, if we put the nail in basically, it'll trap that board down there and it makes fitting the next board a little bit tougher. So we'll stick that board in, then we'll nail there, and off we go. So that's it basically. Jen, if you want to get another board across, we'll get this boarded. Hopefully John will be back at some point then and we can get the rubber on as well. So I know somebody posted before they built the walls and they forgot to put a window in. We often put our windows in afterwards because, we'll wait till the customer comes in, he'll have a look around the room and then decide where he wants it and where his furniture's going to go. So there will be a window going in over in that wall, which I will be putting in shortly, or a window opening anyway. Oh no, is Jen going to do it? But I did actually forget to put the door in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this timber out, put another timber in there and create the opening and then multi-tool that out. But first I want to get these timbers out. Now, I want to reuse these timbers because obviously I've got enough for the build, so I need to save at least one of them so I can put it there. So the way you can do that is, I've actually cut through the OSB there and I've got a handsaw. Now, it's not one of the new ones because we're using them to cut insulation bizarrely, but there's 3 nails in the bottom of there, but that will actually cut through the nails. That's cut through all 3 that now, because here we go through. So the only way I'm going to get this off now is, because obviously we've nailed the OSB to there, so I'm going to try and bray it out and try and save it. if you're in any doubt about using OSB for the rigidity of your bolt, you can see there it provides some great strength. So there you go. I'll be able to reuse that now once I've de-nailed it. I'm going to take that one out, put a new leg there, and then cut my opening out, and I'll have to put a head in as well. Right, so we don't normally build our windows on the floor unless we know for sure where they're going. Tend to get the customer to give us like his heads up there as where he wants it. So this window is going to go in the centre of this room. The window is 1200 wide by 1000 high. So what I want, I'm going to put another trimmer in the top there just so it doesn't look like it's... because the roof is pitched like that, you won't notice that running to nothing as much if I've got another timber there, so I'm dropping my window down. So I know that timber's 38mm. I also want a length of timber along there as well, which will support the window and sit the window on. So that's two 38mm, which is 76mm. Plus I want 10mm gap to get the window in. So I know the window is 1000, so I want 1086, but what I'm going to go to is 1090 just to make sure I can get in there and have no issues putting this window in. So I'm going to level a line across once I put my glasses on because I can't see shit. Right, so what I'll do is I've already marked my timber height there, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to level a line across like that, get that nice and level, and then I'm going to mark that timber there and mark that timber there. The reason why I've only marked them three is because I know that one, and that one are coming out. So there's my line there now, and what I'll do now, I'll just get the square and just return that line in like that. Sometimes we'll build them on the floor with it actually cut out, other times we won't. If Davey looks over there, you can see where I've cut the door out now because I've completely forgot about the door. Right, so that's in there. So what's going to happen now, when I start to cut that wall out, it's going to start flapping around. So what I want to do, I want to put this timber on here now, which will, once it's screwed to all the timbers, 1 minute, once it's screwed to all of them, it will support the wall when I'm braining. Whoop. It'll support the wall because I'm going to have to smash them out. You can see now, so they will be now solid because they're all tied together, because otherwise these ones will be flapping around. So I'm going to cut this now. Should be cut through, and if you're going to buy tools, you'll know I'm Makita if you watch us. John's Milwaukee, that is probably the most powerful multi-tool I've ever used. The only part, I think they've let themselves down by not putting a battery so you could stand it up. Anyway. Right, so I'll get the angle grinder now and just take them nails off there that are in my way. Right, so I know now my window's going to sit on there, so I need to now cut this bottom trimmer, which I'll go cut now. Got a pencil, Jen? Thank you. Free from nails. Probably made that a bit too tight, haven't I?
Just a little bit.
So I know because I've levelled, sorry Debbie, I keep walking in front of you, don't I, mate? Sorry. I know because I've levelled them off. We've got 90s.
Yeah, they're in there.
Not in there, they're not.
Oh.
You get me some in there. So, I know my window, because I've already measured it, that's the centre there of the room. Now I know my window's 1200, now I want to make sure that I've got enough clearance to go in. So I'm going to give it 1220. So what I'll do, I'll measure 610 both ways. And then I know that I ain't gone wrong there, and I'll just double check that measurement now is 1220, which it is. So that line there and that cross indicates where the timber's going to be. So now I just need to cut 2 uprights, which, to be fair, I can probably use what I've smashed out if they're in any kind of condition to use. 1054 please, Jen. 2 at that. Make it 55, 1055. So you can see the opening there starting to appear. You want another one of these that broke? Is that what she's just thrown in, Debbie? I know my bottom's right. We're happy with that there. Spike a couple of nails in there. Plumb up this leg. Where's my other one, Dan? Thank you. Can I have a head as well, Jen? I'll give you a measurement for it. Have you got any out there, or do you need some? You are.
I've got some.
You are. You are. You got a measurement? 18. So obviously I've put my pencil mines. I'm not quite on there. Yeah. So, you know, I measured 12.20. It's not quite on, but that's why that's 12.18 there, both plumb. But, you know, it doesn't matter because I need that little gap there to get my window in, because let's say the building's racked a little bit. I need to put my window in nice and straight. So that's the reason for that. All that's left to do then is just multi-tool that out, and there's your window opening, in case you forgot it. So the reason why they were in there was to stop them flapping about, but that's now all secure and built. Right? Make sense? Thank you. Right, we're going to put the fascia and soffit on now. We'll put on the soffit. This is the soffit, yeah? That's the fascia, this is the soffit. Shut up! So, shut up. So it's a hollow ribbed soffit. Go get it in. It's a bit tight, isn't it? We're always going. Right, we're gonna fit the fascia and soffit. This is the soffit, that's the fascia. We used a hollow ribbed soffit. If you look at that piece that Jen's cut in there, it is as it says it is. It's hollow and it's ribbed. It's black. It's 300mm, and that is what we do our overhang to 300mm. Now, I've had a few people say that you're putting it on the wrong way. Now, there is no right and there is no wrong. Yeah? Right? If I put it that way, that means I've got to counterbatten my full roof so that I can fix it. And when we set out our lights, there's a fair old chance that one of those lights is going to sit on the gap, which we don't want. So if we put it like this, we can set our light in the centre, and it'll always sit in the centre, and it'll always look right. Go on, you can carry on, John. Right, sorry, mate. So obviously it comes in 5 metres. This building is 6 points, so isn't it, John? Yeah. So we're using the H trim there. Can you see that, Davey? A H trim to join it. Now, the reason why I've stepped that back is because when that fascia goes on there like that, can you see that, Davey? Come right up here and you'll be able to see it. Look, right behind me there. When that fascia goes on there, it will butt up to that. What we don't want is it to sit like that, because it holds it down and creates a little lump. So, with that in mind, I'm going to put that piece on there, push that H trim to it. Yeah, so when I put my fascia on now, that'll be a nice little finish there as well. Right, now, yeah, yep. Right, what Jen's going to do now, she's going to go down to end up building down there, down to end up building, yeah, and she's going to look down the lines and make sure that I am firstly in line, and that then this piece isn't kinking off on the dog leg, which is something we don't want to happen. Right, Jen, what we're looking like. Talk to me about the front first.
Right, the front, now you just need to send it in at the back, yeah. Right, send it a bit closer to in on the front now, so it's knocked it out a bit. Bit more.
That's fine, that's in line, that.
Perfect.
Get up on that trestle so you can look at it properly.
Perfect. That's perfect. The back
Get back right over there where you belong. Take that trestle with you. Right, now look down them lines.
Right,
Hold on. It was perfect, but now you're telling me to move it.
the front's perfect.
Tell me when.
Perfect.
There. Right, so it was perfect the first time, but now it's even perfecter. Is it perfect enough? Come here. Stand behind me and hold it, clamp it. Right, you got it? Right, so we are fixing these with 30mm poly tops. I'll show you them in a minute. And I really should have, let's see, you can let go of that. And I really should have my glasses on to do this because I can't see. Where are my glasses? There they are. Put that in your pocket, please, Jen, so we don't lose it. Right, 30mm poly tops. They are poly topped pins. They're stainless steel. They bend really easy. You hit a knot, it's going to bend, and it's a problem to get out. We're going to use these around the sides as well. But what we'll do around the sides, we'll just get the poly top head like that and just pull it off. So when we put the soffit on, the flat head sits flat, and then the fascia will then sit over the headless polytop nail, as it were. Yeah, we good with that? Yeah. Right. So don't put that one in. Throw it on grass for customers, kid. Right. In the colder months, if you miss this, you have a fair old chance of putting your hammer straight through the fascia, which has happened before. And I do believe, if you're watching this, Dan, it was you. That's what John says anyway. So I've had to do away with the framing hammer because it's a little bit too big. Oh, that's a knot, that, look. Can you hear the difference? Right, that ain't going to go in, so that's handy. Get me a drill, please, Jen. And get me a full poly top. Right, so what I'm going to do now, look, David, can you see it? Yeah. Right, it won't go in, have it, a knot there. It's probably that knot there. So I'm going to put some weight on that and try and pull it out without damaging fascia, which I haven't, so that's good. Right, now I know there's a knot there, and I know that my pin is not going in, as it were. So what Jen's going to do now, she's going to get a poly top. She's not cut the head off it though. Are you going to try and bite that stainless steel head off there? No. God give me strength. Right, where's the grinder? Get us grinder, Jen. Get some nips as well. No, because by the time you put them in, you lose too much at pin. I need to cut it right off. Get some nips in grinder. Right, what I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to cut the head off that pin. And then Jen's going to pass me the drill. Just nip it onto that. It's still hot. It maintains its heat really well, does stainless steel. Right, nip it up. Right, so I'm now going to use that as a drill bit to create that hole. No wonder I can't see it then. Just save it for me. So hopefully now, that pin should now go in no problem. Which it has. Right, so that's the fascia at the front, the hollow ribbed. No, it's not the fascia, it's the soffit, isn't it? The hollow ribbed soffit at the front. And now, if Davey goes over there, he'll show you the 100 mil soffit we're going to put round the sides. So that's nice and straightforward. It's 100 mil wide, it's 5 meters long, it's black, and it's just a flat board. So what we'll do, we'll cut that to length. Should we start this side and work our way around? Does anyone know what length building is? Jen will cut it to an approximate length. 3.4. And of course we want some H trim on there as well. Yeah, right, so I've got that soffit on there, keep fitting on one. Then we're going to put this one on there like that. Again, I'm going to slide that H trim till it's in the right position for me. Because what we want is, when we put that on there, we don't want it to be, you see how it's nice and flush now? We don't want it to be stepped down on that, because it will create a step on the corner. So you can see the polytop, I've took the head off there. I'm now just going to fix that there. Just so it's flush, right on the edge. And then what will happen then, my fascia will then go on there. It will conceal the fixing. That will go like that across there. That will conceal that. That'll be all nice. This will get double battened out. So the cladding will come to approximately there. And then we will go and we will infill all that with rock wool, because we can't obviously PIR it. So Jen's holding it like that. If Jen doesn't hold it like that, if I go across to the middle and put a pin in like that there's a fair old chance it'll snap under its own weight when I put the pin in, because it'll weaken it. So she'll hold it till I get very much near the end. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to go around the full building now, get the soffit on, just like this, with the H trim. till we get back round to the front and meet it, and then we can address the fascia then. And I'll show you that going on as well. But like I say, it don't need pinning there on that side because that's fine there. Once that goes on there, insulation on there, cedar up there, job's a good one. Yeah, you happy with that? Yeah. Right, we're going to fit the fascia now. This particular fascia is from Gap Plastics. We often sort of drift between Gap Plastics and Northern Building Plastics. Northern Building Plastics didn't have any fascia. Right, so but the benefit of this one is actually got lines and points on. So what we normally do is we'll sit the pin like that, we'll stand it up, and then we'll pin it, and then we'll use a hammer spacing each time. But what I'm going to do on this, I'm just going to go for the third line, and I'll probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, every sixth hole or something like that. That's probably what I'll do, just so they look all uniform and all in line with each other. That's what we're aiming for anyway. So I don't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every sixth hole then. Jen, have you got your hammer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I say, if these stripes weren't on there, I just use the head there to determine the length, hook the head on, and then stand it up. But that's near enough where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we're going to get you to do it, but no. And the reason why I'm putting them in first is because it's a lot easier then. We'll just hang over the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to count with me? We'll just hang over the side and fix them then. Now give Jen a bit of responsibility of counting. This could go pear-shaped. Where are we? That one. Because you know, a lot of people says, why aren't you lined them up with the P-trim which fits the rubber? But you can't, because the P-trim fixings aren't regular enough for the fascia, so they do not align, but that's not the end of the world. Unless you've got OCDs, I suppose. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to let it drop over the side, we're going to pull it up tight to the soffit, yeah? Pull it up tight, yeah? Right. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm up, you up?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to line it up with the end of the building. What I'm going to do, just going to drive the nail in part way. I can't actually talk when I do this because I miss the nail every time. And then I'll go back and pull the film off. What we'll try to do is keep that protective film on right till the last. Just so we don't damage the fascia or scratch it or anything. So don't forget, we'll be selling used cans of gas at the winter time. Move out way. Jen's well up for that apparently. There is a recession coming, so any means needs. Right, so what I'll do now, I'll pull the plastic off Dave here, like that, just that protective covering. And I'll go down while Jen measures the piece and cuts me a piece for the other end. Now you can over hammer these. You'll know when it's just touched in. You can, if you hammer them in, you can actually depress the fascia a little bit, which not the end of the world, but you try to avoid that. So I've been lucky there because I haven't, so far he says, hasn't hit the nails on any of the roof joists. And if you do, it's a case of wiggling the top off so it snaps, cutting the head off the pin like we did underneath, put it in a drill, re-drill it right next to the pin, and when you put it in, the head will cover the broken one. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a little piece on there. This is the jointing strip. Like I said, they're 5 metres long, that's as long as they come. And then the jointing strip will cover them. That will cover the joint. It looks neat and tidy. That's, you know, just the way it is. This roof's over 6 metres long, so we have to join it obviously, but over the sides we won't. So that's it, we're going to go all the way around. I'm going to show you how we're going to form a corner as well, because there's a little cutout you need to do to create the corner, but I'll show you that as well. Thank you. Right, so if you imagine this is your front fascia running that way, this is the side fascia. Now, sorry David, can you see that? Just look over my fingers there, look. See there, look. See, it's bumping into it. Can you see that gap there? Yeah. Yeah, there, that's better. Right, so we're trying to get rid of that. So what we're going to do is put that there, mark it like that, and marking that in line with that grey one there. Do you see that, look? Yeah, so that's in line with that. What we'll do then is multi-tool that out. Get rid of that, and then what will happen then is that's the front fascia. That fascia will, you have to come around this side, I think, David. That fascia will sit like that, yeah. So that's how the side will sit up to the front, and then this corner piece. If you lift it up, John, just a little bit. It's a double corner. It'll have to be cut down to size, but that corner piece then will cloak that and shroud everything there. So that's how you want to do your corners. What we'll do now, we're going to get this side on. Jen's going to go around and start multi-tooling the top off there because obviously it's too high. You can't actually get it the height we want. So what we tend to do is either circular saw it or multi-tool it. But circular sawing's messy and it's dangerous and it's a pain in the ass. So she's going to go around and multi-tool the lot. I'm going to run around and fascia, and that'll be that. Right, David. Right, so we're going to use a rubber roof on this. This is the 2-part gutter trim. In my opinion, and I think it's in most people's opinion as well, this is the best gutter trim on the market for this type of roof. It's 2 parts, as it would suggest. This part will get screwed to the building. The next part traps the rubber in there, clips in there, and then it runs the rainwater into the gutter. But I'll show you that. So we're going to screw this on. It's getting to that time of year now where it may start cracking. What you can do is that can split off sometimes, and it can be a bugger to get the rubber in just when the temperature starts to drop a little bit. So I'm just going to get these screws. I'm approximately 400-500 apart. It's not a science as far as I'm concerned anyway. It works pretty well. And we'll put one near the end as well, not too close to the end. Right, so that's good to go now. So what I'll do, hang it over. Jen's been down and cut this, just taking any burrs off there, because we don't want any burrs sticking up and catching on rubber, because that'll be a bad day at the office. Just with sided knife there, get them off. I'm just going to bring it to the end of that corner there. I'm keeping it flush with the top. Nearly, Davey, nearly. I'm just going to, like I say, it's just flush with the top there. We don't want any step on it. So obviously we want our rainwater to run away like it should. And finally the last one. When Jen's finished that now, I'll go along and I'll continue that all the way along. She's going to go around, she's going to rip all the top off there, and then we can start to think about putting the rubber on. We've got the fascia, the soffit on, we've got the 2-part gutter trim on. Obviously we haven't got the roof on, we got it up and then there was a hole about maybe 800 in it, so that's going back to gap. We'll get another piece tomorrow and get the rubber on tomorrow. So what we've done, we've temporarily covered it now. The pain in the ass with this is, because the fascia's on, you've got to fix the slate battens high up, which we have done round there, because obviously we've had to nail them to the fascia, but the P-trim will then cover the holes, so that's fine, that's one issue done. But obviously at the back we can't fix the visqueen down at the back because we've got the 2-part gutter trim, which I'm not taking back off, so we've just weighed it down with a bit of this. Just dropped some roof battens, just laid it on just to stop the wind from getting under it tonight, just a little bit of weight really, just to hold it down, because it is forecast rain, but tomorrow's supposed to be okay as well. So it's important that you keep your OSB, sun there, right? Important that you keep your OSB dry, so we've done like as much as we can now, because unfortunately the hole was about there, wasn't it, Jen? Yeah, a decent sized hole. Trouble with visqueen is there is always holes in it. There's a hole in that over there as well. you get a full roller damp course, and it's got holes in, but it is what it is. We've done best can. So that's it. So tomorrow we'll get the rubber on. I'll show you putting some noggins in with the insulation. They're going to board the roof as well, insulate the roof. John's already first fixed electric. John's already first fixed the lights, so I'll show you that as well tomorrow. So that's it. Please like and subscribe. If you've been watching the van build, then I spoke to van pimps that they watched the video and they've agreed that there's a fault with the window. So the back window, yeah, was my fault, but the side window, they sent me out a kit because it's obviously easier if I can repair it, and if I can't repair it, they're going to send me out a new window. So that's it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you. Bye.